Wow. Well, if you had a chance to check out your crypto portfolio or stock portfolio today, you saw we definitely just flipped. We went from capitulation mode, completely sell, 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 to now buy, buy, buy. We're going to cover exactly why that happened in this video. Let's get it. The first thing I want to show you guys is a news article about Apple revealing their revenue, and a lot of companies are having their earnings report coming out. But it was one thing their CEO, Tim Cook, had to say about Apple's business right now that really started to spur the stock market. And this stemmed from this past Friday. It's now Monday now, so just a few days ago, Tim Cook decided to say supply chains are improving. Now, this is a company that sources a lot of their materials from overseas, and supply chains have been completely destroyed for the better part of 2 years since the pandemic hit us. But if we start to see an alleviation of supply chain constraints, all these companies are going to start to soar again, and that's exactly why I noticed in my particular stock account, I'm up $2,300 almost today. And I was about to even make a video saying I'm almost ready to sell out of all of my stocks here. Tesla was literally around $800 yesterday. It's up at 930 bucks. I mean, these stocks are starting to soar. I know Tesla's all-time high was around $1,200, but I was thinking about selling and just taking profit. As a matter of fact, if you've been following my channel, I bought into the stock market way back here in the beginning of March, around March 5th, March 13th, 2020, right when the pandemic started to hit us. This is when the stock market and Bitcoin was at like 3,500. The stock market completely tanked. I put a bunch of money in there. You can see this graph is showing that I've pretty much been topping out and haven't really gone too much more than, $35,000 in profit here in my stock account. Now, the reason I kind of was thinking about selling it was because I wanted to put it into my 3x altcoins here on KuCoin. Now, this is the app. I love to use KuCoin. I have a full tutorial on how to set this account up. First, you need to fund a Coinbase account. If you already have that, your actual bank account will be synced with Coinbase. That's where you can buy crypto, and then you send crypto from your Coinbase into KuCoin, where then you can get your hands on these coins right here. I love the 3x long coins because they're based on the top 10, 20 cryptocurrencies that are out there right now. All the top metaverse coins, the layer 1 solutions like Solana. I mean, right here, we're looking at the sand chart, Sandbox. This is one of the biggest metaverse coins out there right now. And if you think crypto's going away, then you have a rude awakening coming, because all this sell-off right now is just because a freak out and a capitulation of everyone thinking, oh my gosh, it's the new year, the Fed's going to increase rates. The Fed is only planning to increase interest rates by 1% by the end of 2022 in total. I think there's about 4 interest rate hikes they're going to be doing, around 0.25%, and times 4, that's going to be 1% total by the end of the year. That's not even going to account for how much inflation is out there. And if you believe the government numbers, which I don't, they say inflation is about 7%. So if everyone's wanting to sell out of their high-risk things like stock accounts and crypto to go back into the US dollar, you're still buying into a severely inflated and destroyed currency, which is the US dollar. The Fed still hasn't even stopped their money printing, and they don't plan to. They're still buying $30 billion of mortgage-backed securities every single month right now. But let me get into the dollar chart and show you what's happening in correlation to Bitcoin in just a second. But this is what I'm talking about. Right now, sand is up 36% today, the 3x long version of it. If you wanted to get the regular version of it, it's up 3 times less than that. So maybe up 12%. But if you're buying here in at these lows, you can quadruple your money so easily. You see the bottom down here was just a few days ago at $1.05 on the 22nd of January. It's already at $4. If you put in 10K there, it went up just this small little smidget there, and that's pretty much a 4X. You'd have $40,000. You go back and look here, December 25th, Christmas, we were topping out at $32.90. So you see a $4 sand price right now. Imagine it going to $32. That's another huge multiplier. And you can zoom out and see, even at the beginning of December, sand was at 50 bucks pretty much. So that's why I was thinking about potentially selling out of my stocks and buying into these 3x altcoins. Solana, again, is at the lowest it's been on this chart ever at 16 cents. And, you know, it was at $2.40 at the beginning of January, essentially. So I wanted to show you real quick the Bitcoin price. There's one thing I am a little worried about here. You can see we have this pin coming right up to the psychological high there. When usually we spike up to those psychological highs and don't blast through it with conviction, there's a potential chance we could fall back down. And we've seen that all too much and all too frequently in this market right now. Look just over here a little bit earlier, we tapped the psychological high right here and immediately bounced right back down. So this is the trader's reality indicators that I'm using right here. Absolutely love them. But what's even more scary to me right now is that we hit it one time, two times, and then even over here, we hit it again. So that's 3 hits to the high, and market makers love to go in threes. So they might hit 1, 2, 3 times and then bring it back down. And ultimately, if I go to the daily chart for Bitcoin, we're kind of in a giant rising wedge right now. You could also call it a ascending triangle, where we're building higher lows and we're just kind of capped at a top price right here. And an ascending triangle is a bullish pattern, but I'm just watching out for these 3 hits to the high right there. That's kind of got me a little perplexed. And ultimately what markets love to do is to go up to a certain point, which looks like we're right at that halfway point. And then they love to come back down and form kind of that W pattern. So potentially this could be a high, and then we retrace down about 34 to 36K. Hopefully from there we bounce on up if we don't just bust out from right now and break through that ascending triangle. Now look at what the dollar did on the daily chart. A big red candle to the downside. I wonder why. Maybe people are starting to realize that putting all their money in the US dollar right now, even though interest rates are going up and that's supposed to help inflation, it's not even gonna really do a dent. Actually, I was listening to Peter Schiff last night, and he said in the 1980s, I think it was Ronald Reagan, actually increased interest rates to 20% to actually counter inflation. But right now, the Fed's between a rock and a hard place, because if they raise interest rates, they're going to destroy the stock market and everything else and put us in a recession. And if they lower interest rates to 0, where they essentially had them for the long time, they're going to keep printing money and just kick the can down the road even longer. So we're at a really crazy point right now. And whenever the dollar has a big downtrend like it did right here, that's when Bitcoin really starts to surge. But the dollar right there formed a giant W pattern and broke out, and now it was retesting right here on the 50 EMA, which is this blue line there, and it bounced higher. So I don't think the dollar can really survive with this kicking the can down the road mentality for too much longer. So that's why I'm looking at this chart here with Bitcoin again. We're coming right on up. We're in a giant descending channel as well on the daily. Our prior descending channels, which we had right here in the summer, when that broke out, it sparked a huge move to the upside. We retraced back down, and you see right then again, we broke out of that descending channel and shot up again. Now we're in a mega descending channel. We broke out of it right here, and then we got back into it, and it looks like we're about to hit the top of the descending channel again. So if we can just break out, that would be very cool to see, but it's potentially, this is what I'm talking about, we could potentially hit the top here and then bounce down to hit the low one more time to form that W pattern and then break on up to the upside. But I don't really see Bitcoin going below 30K, 20K, 15K like a lot of people are predicting. We have our big moving average down here as well. I think this is the 800 EMA. And you see we wicked right down and hit it and got a huge green candle to the upside, a bullish candle. So we got support at 30K. We got support at 33K. there's no real fundamental reason why Bitcoin should be crashing like this. And with Apple starting to come out with this good news saying supply chains are improving, their revenue shot up, and actually Apple predicted they would have $5 billion less on their earnings, but they actually blew that out of the water and had $5 billion more than what they anticipated in their actual earnings. So now we have a couple more huge earnings coming out from Alphabet, which is Google. That's coming out today. We have PayPal coming out, AMD, so Starbucks, a lot of big companies, GM Motors, a lot of big companies are going to be coming out with their earnings here, and Bitcoin and the stock market are so closely correlated, it's not even funny right now. So if the stock market goes up, Bitcoin's going up. And we've seen such a huge sell-off in stocks, we've seen such a huge sell-off in Bitcoin, that I don't think right now it's a good idea to sell any of your cryptocurrency if you're holding on to it. I mean, you might be able to sell at 38 and buy back in at 34, 33, or 30, but it's a risk, and if we just start shooting up, then you're gonna really wish you didn't sell. So the only thing I was thinking was maybe selling my stock account, but then again, you know, I've been holding these for longer than a year or two, actually, so I wouldn't get taxed on short-term capital gains. It'd be long-term capital gains, but I mean, putting 70K into these 3x altcoins right now would literally be insane. Phantom right here, this is one of my favorite coins right now, and on the 17th, literally about 12 days ago, this was at $2.40. Right now it's at 35. So you say 35, double that, it's 70, double that, that's another 4x, that'd be $1.40, and I would already 4x my money, and we're not even close to where we were just 12 days ago. So, I mean, once Bitcoin starts to pump, these 3x altcoins are going to go insane. I made a massive amount of money when I first bought into Phantom at 33 cents down here, and it went up to about $2.50. Literally turned $5,000 into like $30,000 in a matter of a week, and I have videos on my channel about that. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. Let me know in the comments if you think I should sell my stocks and put them into these 3x altcoins. I know it's crazy risky, but I still have a sizable amount in my bank account in cash in case all shit hits the fan and I need some real cash on hand. I still have that, but you never know, guys. We're in a period of the wild, wild west, high drama right now, and I think if you just play your cards right, you'll know the rich get rich in recessions, and these are the times when the markets are low that when you buy, that's when you make your money, because if you're buying high, then you don't got a lot of room to go. But when you see things are oversold this much, we know we're due for a bounce very soon. And even if that bounce gets us in Bitcoin terms to 45 or 50K, and it's a dead cat bounce and it falls back down from there, that still gives us time to buy in at these lows and sell when we get up and meet massive resistance. Again, I'm watching the 40K zone for Bitcoin. That has been a huge horizontal line of resistance and support since this bull market started. And I'm in the charts every day. I want to bring more videos to you guys, but I'm literally just studying constantly. I even made a new little gun channel, so if you want to check that out, I will leave a link for you to go check that out, because sometimes you just got to go blow off some steam. You can't be in the charts as much as I am and other people are, and you got to get out and enjoy your life too. So with that said, smash the thumbs up button, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.